It is I, Weird Writer in the Woods, and today's going to be Shaky Cam edition because I'm going to go check my mail while I talk to you. Um, so, I was thinking about short stories a lot because I put out anthologies every so often and work with a lot of writers on short stories. And I see a lot of writers who say they cannot write short. Like everything they do wants to explode into a series and become a full-on novel, which is sometimes a good problem to have. Like you start out to write a short story and then it gets away from it, and then all of a sudden you have a 5-book series. Great, you have a 5-book series. However, if you are working for a specific project, let's say a anthology that you want to submit to and be published in, or like a e-zine or something like that, sometimes you need to keep it down to a limit because you're aiming for a certain publication, so you need to aim for their standards. And I found there's a lot of different reasons why these things don't work out, why things get out of hand. The first one is you put a premise, you're trying to fit a premise that is long story length into a short story. Like it's a character who goes out and saves the world and goes on a quest of like 6 other characters. And honestly, that is not usually going to fit into 5,000 to 10,000 words, let's just say. No. All right, so if you think about that, then you're going to want something that is shorter, that has a premise that's tighter, maybe smaller. Going smaller scale is also a really good way to do this. Another thing is, like I said, amount of characters can get out of the way. It is not impossible to run a short story with a large cast, but it's more difficult. Time frame. Time frame is another one. If the story takes place over an hour, wonderful. If it takes place over a day, great. If it takes place over a couple months, you're in trouble. Oh, look who's here. It's Alfred. Hi, Alfred. And I didn't introduce myself. This is the Weird Writer in the Woods. See, I have the woods. And I have a cat. Oh, he's so good. He's the best cat. Oh, yes. Well, I know I've got so many good cats, but all cats are the best cat, right, Alfred? All right, let's keep walking. So, premise, time, characters. All of those things probably should be pruned down. There are exceptions to this, and obviously there's some great short stories that have broken all these rules. But the more elements you have, harder it's going to be. I tend to see short story structure as a joke. You have a setup, you have a build-up, you have a payoff. So you want something you can introduce the character, situation, problems really quick, get everybody into the action, and then find a way to get them out of the action. And that always keeps me pretty confident that I can write something short. I get out of breath really easy these days. Is it just being 41, or am I just really need to get more exercise? I feel like I do exercise a lot, but okay. My chair has been taken up, usual sitting place, but it's been taken over by the pizza oven, which my husband got and made me pizza for my birthday, which is right. Okay. I'm going to sit here. So, where was I? Actually, then you don't get the woods in the background. That's the whole point, is that I'm the weird writer in the woods. Can I turn around? It's kind of awkward. Anyway, so sorry for that aside. My point is, there's the woods. The woods were there all along. The woods were the friends we made along the way. There we go. Okay, so what was I talking about? You have that really quick setup structure. Setup, build up, payoff. And that really works for me. Another way you can think about it is to take a scene. Like, let's say you want to turn the Lord of the Rings into a short story. That's probably the most ambitious thing I can think to do. If you just took it and started at where Sam and Frodo are going up the walkway to the Mount Doom to drop the ring into the thing, you could do a quick little build up, just, especially because when you're dealing with fantasy tropes, people are kind of familiar. This is the end of the quest. So already set up, this is the end of the quest. Your characters are weary and this is their long moment. And then focus everything just around that tight decision about whether does the ring go in the, do I keep the ring or does it go into the lava? And that would be a short story. Another thing you can do is setting up stuff. Like a short story, I don't think that they have to be complete close the doors. A lot of short stories are somebody, what's that thing about a stranger comes to town or somebody leaves. but yeah, a character realizing that they have to go on an adventure, they have to start something new, is a great short story. I think this is especially true of romance because a meet cute is a great short story. And it doesn't have to end with a wedding or even a kiss. It's just two characters like realizing that they've made a connection. Cute characters meet, make a connection, and then that is the story. They've made the connection and accomplished. So that is another great kind of short story. Just two people meeting and then thinking in their heads, so this is going to be a great adventure at the end of the story. Those are other things about short stories that I see that are mistakes people make, is not having that payoff. I feel like a short story does need kind of a punchline. You kind of can't just taper out. There needs to be something at the end that is, like I said, well, this is the start of a great adventure, is ironically a great closing line. Just so there needs to be that payoff, that feeling of, okay, this is the end of this thing. And then at those points you can take those short stories later and you can expand on what happens afterwards, or maybe you could write the build up afterwards. And always share your short stories. I don't know how many times I've written a short story and then later I've pulled that idea out and expanded it into something bigger and, you know, more better for a novel. I see that happen all the time. There were a lot of novels that started out as short stories. Yeah, my favorite types of short stories are usually the humorous ones because it's so much easier to get that payoff going on. But there's also like moments where a character discovers something about themselves. But that doesn't have to be the only way. A short story is one place I think you can get away with a flat character arc, because it doesn't necessarily have to be about the character learning anything. It can be just about the character accomplishing something. So a character could learn something, a character could accomplish something, or the world could change in a way and they discover something. And that's also kind of cool, like a short story where you open a door and find out that their magic exists is a good idea. So I've been writing, this is an aside. I am doing a anthology of short stories written about magical self-help or magical self-care or magical self-improvement. So there's like a concept of a dragon tidying up his hoard and trying to minimize, or a mimic going on a weight loss program, or let's say a person who starts a 7-step program, but each step gets a little bit weirder, or you go to goat yoga and it turns out the goat yoga is run by a satyr. Those are the kind of stories I'm looking for. And I do have a submission call. This is a paid opportunity. I'm not quite able to pay huge market rates, but I can do like a $30 fee for that. And then also you get published, which is sometimes nice for people. I'm probably going to be kickstarting that later this year, so look out for that. Oh, and do you like my new Mothman, Flatwoods Monster, Ghost Cat cryptid shirt? I got this at the Charleston Cat Cafe Cats and Cups, and I saw it and I was like, I have to have that shirt. Okay, because, you know, we're still looking for Mothman out here. Speaking of which, I'm going to also start posting updates because I'm working on my Realm Makers costume, and it's going to be Steampunk Mothman because apparently I'm on theme for that now. But anyway, this is me in my woods. Alfred's over there behind the barbecue. I'm not going to try to get him on camera. And it's muddy out here, and I made a mistake of coming out in my shoes, and now they are all muddy. Nice to see you too.